This week's adventure took me to the manor, a place close by, where the flowers were blooming, the trees were full of green. Saw lots of interesting shapes and colors and sticks that move, and there's a lot to see. Hey, I'm excited about photography, and I hope you are too. So let's learn together. Where I got most of my information for Adobe Lightroom was from this person right here. His name is Jealous Vaz, I believe his name. I mean, I don't know how to really pronounce it. He's got a few classes out here, but this one for the beginners on Lightroom, fantastic. Highly recommend it if you get a chance to go out on Skillshare and check this out. If you get like a free promo or something like that, check this out. He does have a YouTube channel, and it does seem to have some tutorials on it. I have not checked these out, but I highly recommend the Skillshare if nothing else. Here are the tips and tricks that I've found right away from that Skillshare. Going to lens correction first on the image that you have, and select Enable Profile Correction. You might have seen, I'll uncheck it here. You see how it just pops just a little bit by clicking that? And what it does is it looks at the metadata and collects the information about the lens that was being used, and automatically adjusts the distortion and the vignetting that is just natural with that lens. So that does a little correction on its own, built in. Once that's done, and it also recommends doing that, removing the chromatic abbreviation, even though I don't see any difference in it. But if I don't see any difference, what the heck, why bother? But it's suggested. After that, I go up here to the basic, I don't know, pull down. Alright, basic, auto just takes that image and puts it into what Lightroom thinks the exposure, the contrast, the highlights, and everything should be. So it's a baseline. But your eye is not going to be the same as what Lightroom sees. In fact, I like to have a little bit more exposure in there and a little bit more contrast. I think it's a little darker, but I like that. Okay, bring these highlights back a little bit. The shadows, even the white a little bit, maybe. Make it brighter, maybe. Yeah, just a touch. Anyway, those are some of the quick tips I have. Also, if you hit L, it singles it out. Hit L again, it blocks out everything on your screen except for that one image. Hit L again, and you're back to the screen. If you hit F, it loads it to the full screen so you can get a good clean look at it. Hit F again, takes it back, and if you hit Y, it'll do a side-by-side comparison. Here was the original, and here's the new one with all the settings that were added. You can also go to the presets and roll through some of these presets. If you just scroll over the top of them, you'll see the images changing. I highly recommend not doing the vignetting. There are different types of vignetting. This is the heavy that puts some blackness around the edges here, but I'm going to Control Z that to get rid of that preset. So we don't want the vignetting there. Okay, because it just does the corners and kind of brings it in a little bit. What we're going to do is this brush tool here, and I think we'll just do something like painting over this 50%, round it. Did I paint anything? Yes, I did. Click that on. I think I might need to put this up a little bit. I really just want to highlight the flower, so it's around that. Right there. Yeah, okay. And you can kind of see how around the shutter it's a little brighter there. Let's go extreme, so it's dark. Let's light, contrast down, extreme just so I can see it. So it's drawing the attention to the flower. Click that out. So it's like doing vignetting, but you can see how much darker this section is here, and in the corners just like it would normally, but we're just darkening out the outer edge, brightening up the center. Alright, in this photo I like the contrast of this. The pink flowers on this tree are just, there's no leaves, it's all flowers. And the background, the only thing I don't like, I'll go over in a minute here, but first thing we need to do is enable that to get the correction there. We'll remove the chromatic, go to basic, I'll hit our auto, and let's see what it does. It changes the image a little bit. I got a little bit of sky out here. I think I might want to see if I can get that to come out. It always just brings it up just a little too much for me. But here's the thing. I want to get rid of that sign. I can't do that really in Lightroom, so we need to move over to Photoshop. In order to do that, we've made a couple adjustments. We've made the picture look spot on. We've gone through all the different hues and colors and tones and details and just adjusted everything we could think of to make this picture look awesome, right? So now we want to export it. Now we're going to export it out by going to File. We'll export by going to File, Export, and we get to choose which file, which directory we want to put it in. The file name, we could save it as its original file name, or we can customize it. We could do any of these customization ones, but we'll just do a full-on customize it. We'll call it sign block. Blocking's blocked by the sign. And let's see, extension, that's pretty good. Image size is fine. We'll leave it the original size. And that's it. Export it. And now over to Photoshop. Now that we got it in Photoshop, what we want to do is basically we're going to try and either do lasso or this here because it's a perfect sign. Do delete, yeah. Then do content aware. Click OK. Boop. And it's perfect. Control D. Well, you can't even see that sign was there. I mean, I wonder if we can scroll in and see that the sign, it was on that tree, right? I think it was like right there, maybe. Well, that's pretty good. This Photoshop is just amazing with that. The other thing I could do is get rid of that and see if it would, just out of curiosity, I mean, right? I mean, do we want that? Or, yeah, we'll do the lasso. I wonder how fine we have to be with that. I mean, just out of curiosity, I want to see. Yeah, not that good. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Who cares about the little stump? At this point, I still think it's pretty cool. Although we could crop this out. All right, getting ahead of myself. So Photoshop can definitely do things that Lightroom can't, and Lightroom can do amazing things that Photoshop can kind of do, but not really well. I mean, you could go into image adjustment, hues, layers, black and white, vibrance, and make some adjustments here, but nothing like what you can do in Lightroom. It's amazing. It really is. And once you play with it just a little bit, you'll become very comfortable with it. Okay, that's it for this video, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button. I post a weekly video, so be sure not to miss next week's video by hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. Feel free to leave a comment below, and we'll see you next week.